Hello guys, 7th annual Twilight Open preview. I'm going to try to get this done in this first 15-minute video this time around so I don't have to break it into two parts. Here you can see your winners from last year's Open at Pine Meadows. Hand won championship, Billy D won first flight, and Doc Marangel won second flight. Here are the results from our previous, I guess that would be 13 majors. This is going to be the second time we've played a major at Sugarloaf, so I can bring you back to right here, the 2019 one. We had Han, who won in a playoff, and I did misspeak in the last video where I said I believe that was the only playoff in Twilight history. I forgot that Foster's first Open, he did beat Steve in a playoff in that. So in 2019, we had Han with a 76, 4 over. That was when he beat Pez in a 3-hole playoff. Stu won first flight that year, also with the 76 from the white tees. And an insane score by Ken Vendetti that year in second flight playing the yellows. He shot 74. I don't think we are going to see that again this year. But you never know. So you can look through those on your own in the email. I will have both the YouTube links. Obviously, if you're watching this, you have found where the links are located. There are the tee times. We ended up with 30 guys. Great turnout for Sugarloaf. We do have 2 threesomes, so that's why you can see championship is a little bit split up. I didn't want to put a threesome in the middle of the pack and have them wait, so it's really not that big of a deal with the live scoring and everything. So there are the tee times. You guys know the rules by now. Championship flight is going to play the blues at Sugarloaf. That is 7,006 yards. First flight, we play the white 6,300. Sugarloaf is still long from the white tees. And I mean, even the yellows too. The yellows are 6,050, which is probably longer than, I don't know, let's say we play 20 Twilight courses in a year. I would have to say the yellows are longer than 18 of the 20 courses we play from the actual white tees. So Sugarloaf, it's just a long course. Same rules as always. You can move it in 2 places, the fairway and the bunkers up to a grip length. You can rake in place in the bunkers. Everywhere else you're playing it down, and everything's a hazard. So whether you hit it out of bounds, you hit it in fescue. I think this was actually the course that made me change the rule because people were just losing their ball in the fescue here all the time in 2019. So yeah, you guys know the rules by now. $21 entry fee. $10 goes to your flight, $10 to CTPs and skins, and $1 to the live scoring scroff. I'm going to get to betting in a second. I didn't realize I had past champions on here twice, so I'll delete one of those before I send the email. Okay, second flight. We have 11 guys, $110 purse. I'm paying 50, 30, 20, and 10. And I had to make Gallagher the favorite. He's coming off of his win here at Iron Valley. And 4th place in the Masters last year, 1-to-1 favorite, and I got a lot of money on him. I believe I made him 2-to-1 at Iron Valley, and I took a lot of money on him, so I wanted to bump that down a little bit. I think he's a worthy favorite, though, going off at 1-to-1. Cuffy making his Twilight debut this year, so I don't even have an average score for him. He is, though, the lowest Sugarloaf average score in the flight at 84. Obviously, all of those Shenandoah guys play Sugarloaf a lot. So Cuffy, I made 2-to-1. His results in majors, as you can see here, are fantastic, with his worst finish being second place. T2 back in Sugarloaf in 19. T2, he won at Fox Chase, second at Galen Hall. So Cuffy's looking for his second major, and he will be right in the mix for sure. I went with Jack at 3-to-1. He is the lowest average score in the flight at 86.5. Major results, though, as you can see, not fantastic. He hasn't played in one in 2 years. 4th place at Iron Valley and Fox Chase are his best finishes in majors. Plays Sugarloaf a lot. I made him 3-to-1. Jake, average score of 90. Now, he played in first flight. I did include that. So this 10th, he played in first flight last time. He declared up. He's playing in second flight. He's been playing a lot of golf. I know that. He's got the bug. I think he's going to be in the mix as well at 4-to-1. Then I got a duo here, Tony Barone and Bill Burke, I made at 5. Bill lives nearby, plays Sugarloaf a lot. Tony plays a lot of competitive golf. Let's see here. It's Bill's first major, so I don't have much information on him. And Tony has 2 second-place finishes at Iron Valley and Pine Meadows. And then I got a bunch of guys at 8-1. Conroy, Eck, Gooch, Doc Puzzy, and Nida. Conroy, downtown double winner here in 2020. I mean, he's got a second, a third place. Has not been in the mix since that infamous downtown double victory in 2020. He has not played this year, so I don't have an average score for him. 86 average at Sugarloaf. Eck 86.5 at Sugarloaf. He has two T2s. Hasn't played in a major in 2 seasons. Gooch 8-1. His best is 3rd at Pine Meadows in 2022. And then we got 2 guys making their debut. Doc Puzzy, Nida haven't played in a major yet, so I made both of those guys 8-1. Summarizing overall, my prediction is I'm going to get a lot of money on that Gallagher Cuff duo at the top. I think that's going to be pretty stacked up there. I probably wouldn't mind the book having a long shot win, but we shall see. Moving on to first flight, 8 guys, purse 80. $40 for first, $25 for second, $15 for third. Made Carson the favorite at 1-1 again. He ended up coming in T6 as the favorite at Iron Valley. I just think it's going to happen here soon for Carson. He's been playing some good golf. Lowest average score in the group, lowest Sugarloaf average score in the group. Everything lines up for him to be the favorite there. I made Puzz the second favorite at 2-1. He's got the second best average, the second best Sugarloaf. He has 2 7th place finishes in majors, but I think he's just a deserved second place. It's a course where, you know, you can spray it a little bit more, and with his length off the tee, I mean, this applies to Carson as well. They're going to be playing from much shorter than the hole than anybody else in this flight. Gower 3-1. Gave respect for him for the fact that he was leading, 14 of the 18 holes he was leading last time around. He came in 4th. Beltsy, 4-1 once again. Gave some respect after his third place finish at Iron Valley. He's 2 up going into 18 and comes in 3rd. We all know the story there, but the book gave some respect to both of those guys for their performances at Iron Valley. Maymod has not played Twilight yet this year. So I really don't know what his game's like. An 81 score at Sugarloaf. He has 2 3rd place finishes, a 6th, an 8th, and an 11th. So he's probably deserving to be middle of the pack. With Doug, Ben, and Mambo, made them all 5-1. All of their averages, both overall this year and Sugarloaf, are very similar. We do have Doug and Ben being major champions. Doug won the Rich Valley Open in 2018, and Ben won the first ever Masters in 2017 at Golden Oaks. Haven't done a lot recently in majors. What's that? Doug came in T3 at Fox Chase. And then remember, Mambo's stats here, it's only showing that he played at Iron Valley. That's because his average score now qualifies him for first flight. So all of those second flight stats I didn't include this time around. But Mambo, once again, this goes for all those Shendo guys. Plays Sugarloaf a ton. You know, maybe a little long shot there in first flight. Okay, championship. 11 guys in championship. $110 purse. 50, 30, 20, 10. So, I made Steve, Laud, I forgot the D, Han, Sophie, and myself all 3-1 here. I really don't know how I could possibly pick, make 1-1 or 2-1 out of the group of 5 of us. Let me move over to the results here. Well, I mean, average scores, 73, 71-8, 71-6, 71-6, 71-8. They're all so close. Sugarloaf averages are all good. Steve, 73. Laud hasn't played it in Twilight, but he has played Sugarloaf before. Han, 1 under. Bailey, 2 over. Myself, 1 under. So all of those are, nearly identical. And if you look at the major results recently, lots of yellow for first. Orange, who's the one at the top here? So Steve, So we have Steve's last win was in 2020 at Golden Oaks. Laud won the Masters at Sunset in 21. The third one down his hand. He's obviously our defending champion. He has 2 opens, and he did win the last one at Sugarloaf. Fourth one is Bailey. His last win would have been the 2020 Open. And then I am coming off, I guess I'm coming off back-to-back because we played the Masters last. So I'll be going for 3 in a row at Sugarloaf. We then have Pez at 4-1. Like I said, he lost in a playoff to Hand. His Sugarloaf average is 69.5, so he clearly loves the course. And he's coming off a bunch of 4th place finishes recently, and his best was back in 2019 at Sugarloaf. So Joe, I decided to make an executive decision with Joe because, as you can see, I have a note down here and just summarizing it. I don't think it's fair to Joe to make him play 7,000 yards. So his average score obviously qualifies him for championship flight. I'm happy it no longer qualifies him for first flight because he just beats those guys up and wins by a bunch. First flight is much more competitive now that both Joe and Billy D are out of it, to be quite honest. But some of these holes playing at 7,000 yards for Joe is too long. He's old enough that he qualifies for senior events and like Gap and Burke stuff. So I made my own decision that Joe is going to play a combo set of tees. So he is going to play the whites for the par 3s and 5s. That's going to make those 240-yard par 3s at least a little bit shorter. He's going to play the blues on the par 4s. Now I did the math on the calculator or on the scorecard, and that's going to get him to roughly 6,722, which is still long as fuck, okay? So don't be like, oh my god, Joe's going to mop up championship flight playing a combo. It's still long as fuck, guys. So if anybody has a problem with it, like I said here, you can suck my dick. I don't really care. That's what I'm doing. Joe's playing a combo. It's going to make him a little bit more competitive. Now, if an event is held at Galen Hall, which is like 6,100 yards, like, yeah, Joe's going to play the tips. But this is one course where the tips are super long, so I'm allowing him to play a combo. Rounding out, we have a bunch of guys at 8-1. Billy D finishing T6 and T5 in his 2 championship flight appearances. Jay-Z, T4, his best finish. Jonesy came 11th at Iron Valley, and Sav is playing his first major in championship flight. So down here, these are Sav's first flight stats. So he came in T10, T5, 5th, and 6th in first flight. Just wanted to include that since it's his first one in championship flight. Once again, we have Scrolf, pins 1990. Remember, if you click on this, it is going to ask you if you want to score for a group or if you want to watch the leaderboard. So make sure you're talking with your foursome prior to the round and you're figuring out who is doing the scoring. I did want to note as well, I have not only skins on there, I also have the CTPs. So when that gets to the CTPs, please make sure that you're measuring and putting it on there. All right, so here's the leaderboard, and if you click one to the right, the skins are going to come up, and as you can see down here, there's going to be $200 in the skins pot. So we have 10 times 30 is 300. So 100 of that 300 is going to CTPs. So each of the 4, let me go to that. Each of the 4 CTPs right here are worth $25, okay? So when you're doing the live scoring, it's gonna pop up and say, like number 2, did anybody have a CTP? Just write your name in and how many feet and inches you were away. So each of those 4 are gonna be worth $25. That leaves $200 for skins. And you will see on the leaderboard that once skins start populating on here, that'll even show you how much money you would make out of the 200, okay? So that is the live scoring. The pin is 1990. I didn't realize I could change the pin, so I did that this time to my birth year because that's what I remember for everything. And yeah, the betting window is now open. So as always, anybody that wants to make up any fun bets, I will do as good of a job as I can in creating what I think are fair odds for you. So if you want to do any parlays, exactas, or fun prop bets, just text me and I'll make something up for you. Looks like Sunday's going to be a beautiful day at Sugarloaf, so I can't wait to see you guys there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Talk.